We are now entering the brave new world of smart meters. That means your electric meter will do so much more than just show how much electricity you use. The new smart meters are watching you. They sense all kinds of goings-on. They see when you turn something on or off. They see how many watts your electric toothbrush pulls. They send the record of that little event over wireless networks, bouncing through your neighbor's smart meters, all the way to the power company where they keep record of all your electric consumption volumes and patterns every minute of every day and store that data forever on computers that you'll never get to see. That data shows when you are at home, shows when you're sleeping, shows when you're on vacation, when you have visitors, when you use a lamp, a power tool, some extra computers, and if you look like you're running a business out of your home. It even senses when you bootleg energy off the grid. Your smart meter data shows a vivid profile of your personal living patterns and whether or not you were at home on the night of the murder. This is not electrical metering. This is personal surveillance. This is a search without a warrant every day. This is your personal private life going straight out through your electric meter to the power company, to the government, to the police, to the insurance company, to anyone who cuts a deal with your power company to look at your life under a microscope. Sorry, it's actually worse than that. People who don't cut a deal can get your information too by simply intercepting the wireless signal spewing from the side of your house. Yes, smart meters are radio transmitters. Here's how you tell. This one is a 1-watt radio station licensed by the FCC. On this all-news radio station, every detail of your electrical life is shooting off to some institutional data center somewhere. Already, the police in Ohio, Texas, British Columbia, and places I don't know about are regularly using smart meter data to pinpoint marijuana grow houses, enforce business licenses, and punish people for doing things in the privacy of their own homes that you were not supposed to do, but they wouldn't even know you were doing if they weren't spying on you. Your power company apparently gets to sell your personal life story to whomever it wants. Any unusual power consumption pattern is considered probable cause to raid you for growing marijuana or running a computer server without a business license. This is about as Big Brother as it gets. Those friendly men with their truckload of smart meters are going door to door with something a little different than a Christmas carol. My personal opinion is that you and I need to demand that these things be taken off our homes. It is not possible for your power company to claim they have the right to install a surveillance device on your house. Smart meters are no different from wiretapping devices. And in case you didn't know, wiretapping is illegal in all 50 of the states and the federal territories. If you let your power company put a smart meter on your house, you may as well walk around all day with a Facebook helmet webcam pointed at yourself. They have convinced themselves installing smart meters is lawful by some reaching to the moon jive called implied consent. If you say they can change your meter, they pretend you consent even when you don't know really what they're doing. Here's a tip. Tell them they can't change your meter. They had no trouble billing you with the old meter. If you send them a notice by certified mail that they may not install a smart meter or any other surveillance device on your house, their implied consent goes out the window. I would do that if I were you. In fact, I did that, and I'm not even you. You can see a copy of my letter in the drop-down next to this video. You can copy and paste that into your word processor. Make sure and change the info into your own info. The post office will give you the certified mail slip. Those friendly guys on the sidewalk told me that they plan to put a smart meter on every house in America. If they do that, it will no longer be America.
My name is Lou Donovan, and I live in Carson, California.
And you have had trouble with electromagnetic radiation?
Yes, I've had a lot of trouble with electromagnetic radiation. It has put me in hospital 4 times.
Now, was this from your electric meter?
This is from the electric meter that was installed outside my bedroom window.
Okay.
And it affected the arrhythmia of my heart.
How do you know it was the meter?
Well, because since it has been removed, I've had no problem since. The arrhythmia,
And you had no problems before it was installed?
none at all before. I'd had problems with my heart before, which was perfectly all right for 20 years, and after that meter was put in, I had started having arrhythmia problems.
So when you say arrhythmia problems, your heart was not functioning properly?
Well, my heart would speed up to do about 170 beats a minute, and I could normally control any arrhythmia that I would have before just by meditation and relaxing. And the smart meter, I couldn't bring it down. I had to be admitted into intensive care in the hospital.
And so this is from not necessarily the transmitted high energy radiation, the data transmission, but this is from the dirty electricity or the electromagnetic smog caused by the disruption of the power current in your home, I guess, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Because it's you've measured this, right? You have a meter.
I have a meter, and I measured it inside, and
so you find the levels in the home to be high,
yes.
And that would not be congruent with transmitted pulsed radiation. This is constant smog type radiation.
This is constant. Yes, yes.
Right. So this is the other problem that they don't tell you the meters do.
Correct.
Basically.
Yes.
And you found that when you were in that electromagnetic field, your heart was going to high rates of arrhythmia.
Yes, and it wouldn't happen all the time. It happened the first time was 8 months after the meter was installed.
Yep.
And then the second time it occurred was 6 months after that. And then it went 4 months after that. And then went 2 months after that.
So you became more and more sensitive.
More sensitive as the time went by.
And you found that when you were able to remove the meter, that you did recover.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And what would you recommend from your experience that people may not understand, or that you've gone through, what they should do or what they should know?
They should know that they can change that meter, and they should do that. That is the most important part of it, is to change that meter over. They need to know that, because it's a cumulative, the effect of the radiation, and it will get you even if you are healthy. Some part, if you have a weak part of your body, it will come out on that weak part. That's how it works.
It could damage you in different ways than even the person next to you.
Exactly. Yes.
And can you explain, in your experience, what the symptoms are they might look at? You have arrhythmia because you have a heart problem,
right?
But they may have other symptoms, right?
Well, the first things that occurred with me was headaches and neck aches. I thought it was because of the way I was sleeping. But no, it went on and on and on. And then I found that after the meter was removed from my house, I was sprayed by the next door neighbor's meter, which affected my breathing. So breathing will be affected. Your sleep, you can't sleep. You'll be up walking around at night. I mean, it's insomnia is just, you haven't heard about it yet.
So it could be headaches. It could be the usual, they say, insomnia, heart palpitations, loss of concentration, loss of brain function.
Exactly.
Those things. Anything else that you know that you can tell us to help people understand how to look out for the problems that their meter might be causing them?
Well, it's basically your overall health. You know, if there's something happening with you, then look at the meter itself. Look first to that.
So correlate when the meter was installed to when your health might have started to be affected. And then see if you feel better when you're outside, like camping or somewhere in the park where you're not exposed.
Yes. Outside is a lot, but once it gets you, once it builds up, the radiation builds up in your body, it's very hard to shake it off, because wherever you go, that's because it's built up so much.
It may take time to recover.
It takes time to recover, but you'll start recovering immediately as soon as that thing is removed.
Mm-hmm.
And remember also, too, that the next door neighbor's meter is also emitting radiation as well. So if that's very close to your establishment, your home, you're going to get the overspray from their meters. And since I've had the next door neighbor's one changed as well, which is just recently, I felt that immediately, that my breathing came back. I was starting to breathe, and I was worried about my breathing. I had an operation just recently for a hernia, and they do pre-op tests with your blood test and x-rays for your lungs to make sure you can handle the operation.
Right.
And the doctor then said that the blood tests were great. And I said, how about the x-rays? He says, your lungs are fine. I said, is there any COPD there or emphysema? He said, no. He says, they're good. I said, well, why do I have trouble breathing?
Right.
And this is the smart meter. As soon as that next door neighbor smart meter was changed over, my breathing started coming back. My breathing is getting better and better. And this has been just a week. This is just a week ago. This is brand new.
So it affects portions of your health that you would never expect.
You wouldn't expect, and it doesn't show up. Your lungs can be fine, but your breathing's not.
Right.
So.
Right. Why don't you show us your pacemaker there?
Sure.
Now this is an electrical device, and how is that affected by the smart meter?
Well, this was affected by the smart meter. I had this in the second time I went to the hospital after the meter was put in, which was around 8 months, 14 months, and this was a defibrillator pacemaker,
right.
And this regulates the arrhythmia in the heart, and then if the heart stops, this will.
Okay, you throw that up. And that actually had to save your life a couple times because of the meter.
It has already, yes. At least 4 times this has saved my life. But the meter actually turned the pacemaker off, and I went into hospital, and the doctors could not understand why the pacemaker had gone off.
Now, when your pacemaker goes off, that could be fatal.
Yes. Yeah, when it doesn't work correctly.
Yeah.
It's supposed to pace it and everything. And I got arrhythmia even though I had this pacemaker in my chest, I still had arrhythmia. And then I had to go into hospital again.
So the pacemaker was unable to overcome the effects of the electromagnetic radiation.
Exactly, yes.
And it was affected itself by the electromagnetic radiation.
Yes, yes.
And it actually shut down your pacemaker.
It shut down my pacemaker, and it affected me when I first had the pacemaker, the defibrillator and pacemaker put in. Came out from the hospital. The first month I was at home, it stopped my heart completely, and then
what stopped your heart?
I believe the smart meter stopped my heart completely.
Yep.
The electrical current completely.
Really?
And then the defibrillator went off, boom, and started up again, which saved me again. Then 4 months after that, I had arrhythmia again, and the pacemaker was overridden by the smart meter. So I had to be admitted to hospital again, in intensive care to bring the.
Obviously, a pacemaker is not designed to withstand a heavy electromagnetic radiation field around it.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Lou. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jerry.
Do you know what kind of meter you have in your home? No, this isn't just my nerdy curiosity. This is actually something that you should be considering. Over recent years, there's been a huge push by energy companies working in conjunction with the government to install smart meters. What's a smart meter? Well, it's an electric meter that energy corporations allege will streamline how power consumption is monitored in your home. Check it out.
I'm Bob from Woodland, and this is my power. I used to watch my bill only once a month when it came in, and it got so high I thought I was powering a street light out front. Then I got the smart meter. They have a whole lot of little graphs that tell you on an hourly basis how much energy you're using. I show that to the family. I said, do you see this spike? That means a lot of money, so let's bring that spike down. Our family now is trained. We're not using them. Pull the plugs. That's why in my house, I'm known as the energy cop.
Energy cop, huh? Sounds terrifying, and actually not too far off from reality. Now get this. Power companies have been sending people to homes across the country to switch out the old analog meters for these brand new, all-digital smart meters. Remember that little guy that used to come to your house to measure your energy usage? They'd write it down on a little notepad and then send you a bill at the end of the month. Well, that little guy is out of a job. He's been replaced with smart meters equipped with RF chips, technology that allows power companies to monitor these devices without actually ever coming to your home. So just how smart are they? Well, not only do they rapidly record information by the hour, but they can determine just what type of energy you're using. Think about that for 1 second. It may not seem like too much intrusion, but consider this. Energy corporations will have precise data on your daily routines, when you wash your clothes, when you watch TV, when you leave your home, and when you come back. And if the notion that they know what you're doing and when you're doing it isn't disturbing enough, it gets worse. Because these devices are also capable of controlling, regulating, and even rationing your energy use. Take this, for example. You're running your AC during those hot summer months, and the power company decides that you're using just a little too much power. Well, they can take it upon themselves to lower it, regardless of if you're willing to pay more for that extra usage. Another point to consider is what these companies can do with this information. Once they share it with law enforcement, it can, and believe me, it will be used against you. Cops will be able to know just what you're doing at all times in the privacy of your own home. Hey, who needs a telescreen when you have a smart meter? Secondly, these corporations can sell this information about our daily lives for data mining and advertising. It's disturbing on so many levels. Yet, these little surveillance units are being implemented across the country without the public's consent, and in many cases without their knowledge that they're even being installed. And it's leading to an array of problems. Check it out.
This is a smart meter. It uses electromagnetic frequency to send DTE information about power use. This gets rid of the need for meter readers and notifies the power company about outages. But some say such meters are making them sick.
I couldn't understand why I was feeling so foolish.
First, a warning.
And so I came back and tried to put my hand in front of him like this.
Then a scuffle.
And he just kept pushing me away and pushing me away. And
What was the guy after?
this meter...
Yep, an electric meter. He wanted to replace it with a new one like this, a so-called smart meter. Problem was, Thelma Taormina wanted to keep her old one. She had put up warning signs to leave it alone. But the worker wouldn't listen, so Taormina grabbed her gun.
Her lights are out. Her electric meter has stopped spinning. But this is not due to a storm or for failing to pay her bill. It's because this self-employed photographer has refused to allow a new smart meter in her home. Result, a lineman pulled up and disconnected her from the grid.
Yes, companies are actually threatening to shut off your power if you refuse to allow a smart meter to be installed in your home. Look, guys, it may seem like you don't have a choice in this, but these meters are not mandatory yet. You don't have to subject yourself to unknown health risks or increased utility costs. You most certainly don't have to give up your privacy to private corporations. What you have to do is be bold enough to say no.